want to add my welcome to you. It's so good to see you all today. And before we have our scripture reading, I thought, nothing would inspire people in a worship service more than a pop quiz. So I'm going to give you a little quiz, and I want you to think about the origins of the common phrases and expressions and images that I will share with you. Which ones are taken from the Bible and which ones aren't? And of those that aren't, where did they come from? So here we go. God helps those who help themselves. In the Bible? No. Benjamin Franklin. Eat, drink, and be merry. Bible? Yep. Luke 12 and Ecclesiastes also. Be the change you want to see in the world. Bible? No. It's widely attributed to Gandhi, but it's not clear that he ever really said it in exactly that way, but it's generally attributed to him. When God closes a door, God opens a window. Bible? It's actually from The Sound of Music. If God is for us, who can be against us? That's Bible. That's Romans 8. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Bible? No. Where's it from? Shakespeare, right. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. Yep. Proverbs. Before God, we are equally wise and equally foolish. Bible? Albert Einstein. To thine own self be true. Bible? Oh, it's William again. God moves in mysterious ways. Bible? That's from a hymn, and the title of that hymn, it's a William Cowper hymn called God Moves in Mysterious Ways. To err is human, to forgive divine. It's from a pope. Well, it's Alexander Pope, the poet. The truth shall set you free. It's biblical. Gospel of John, 8th chapter. Here's one more. The writing is on the wall. Yeah, that's from the Bible. And it's in our text for today. It's a familiar phrase we say of someone who has awakened to something going on in his or her life. Well, they saw the handwriting on the wall. Or a news anchor might say of a politician when the poll numbers are going down, the handwriting is on the wall. A 2006 article on handwriting and its demise because of keyboards everywhere was entitled, "The Handwriting is on the Wall," and it spoke of the demise of handwriting. A couple of weeks ago, in fact, a week ago this last Thursday, I saw an article that said, "Is the writing on the wall for the 2013 Dallas Cowboys?" The image of the handwriting on the wall is from the Bible, and Martin Leathers will read us that text now.
Our scripture this morning is an interpretation of the book of Daniel in chapter 5. King Belshazzar held a great feast for his 1,000 nobles, and the wine flowed freely. And Belshazzar ordered that the gold and silver chalices his father had stolen from God's temple of Jerusalem be brought in so that they could drink from them. The gold and silver chalices were brought in, and they drank all the wine and drunkenly praised their own gods. At that very moment, the fingers of a human hand appeared and began writing on the whitewashed wall of the palace. When the king saw the disembodied hand writing away, he went white as a ghost, scared out of his wits. His legs went limp and his knees knocked. He yelled out for the enchanters, the fortune tellers, and the diviners to come. He told these Babylonian magi, "Anyone who can read this writing on the wall and tell me what it means will be famous and rich and third in command in the kingdom." One after the other they tried, but could make no sense of it. So now the king was really frightened. and all the blood drained from his face, and the nobles were in panic. The queen heard of the hysteria among the king and his nobles and came to the banquet hall. "Don't be upset. There is a man in your kingdom who is full of the divine spirit. During your father's time, he was well known for his intelligence and spiritual wisdom. He could do anything: interpret dreams, solve mysteries, explain puzzles. His name is Daniel. Have him called in." So Daniel was called in. The king said, "The wise men and enchanters were brought in here to read this writing on the wall and interpret it for me. They couldn't figure it out, not a word, not a syllable. But I've heard that you interpret dreams and solve mysteries. So, if you can read the writing and interpret it for me, you will be rich and famous and third in command in the kingdom." Daniel answered the king, "You can keep your gifts or give them to somebody else, but I will read the writing for the king and tell him what it means. Listen, O king, God gave your father a great kingdom and a glorious reputation. People from everywhere, whatever their race, color, or creed, were totally intimidated by him. He killed or spared people on whim. He promoted or humiliated people capriciously. He developed a big head and a hard spirit. Then God knocked him off his high horse and stripped him of his fame, and he lost his mind and lived like a wild animal. You are his son and have known all of this, yet you're as arrogant as he ever was. Look at you, setting yourself up in competition against the master of heaven. You had the sacred chalices from his temple brought into your drunken party and used them to toast your gods of silver, gold, and bronze, blind, deaf, and imbecile gods. But you treat with contempt the living God who holds your entire life from birth to death in his hand. God sent the hand that wrote on the wall, and this is what is written: Mene, Tekel, and Peres. This is what the words mean. Mene, God has numbered the days of your rule and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scales and found wanting. Peres, your kingdom has been divided and handed over to the Medes and Persians. That same night, the Babylonian king Belshazzar was murdered. Darius the Mede was 62 years old when he succeeded him as king. God speaks to us through the reading of scriptures. Thanks be to God.